Hi, my name is Gail Chilson. I'm here with 4 other members of the steering circle of the Tucson Astrologers Guild, a nonprofit 501c3 educational organization. You can see our website on the screen. In August 2019, we celebrated 40 years of fulfilling our mission. Our mission, as I'll show you right on the homepage, it tells you our mission is to provide a forum for astrological awareness by sponsoring meetings, lectures, workshops, social gatherings that inspire convivial discussion and fellowship. And you're invited to join us. We've been meeting on the second Friday of every month for 41 years now, often with workshops and free beginner classes on the Saturday following. We've featured many brilliant, often well-known astrologers who have shared their wisdom and knowledge with us over the years. Some of those you can see under the events, on the events page, who's been with us for the last few years. At our 40th anniversary free discussion meeting, well, we were looking at a bunch of charts, as astrologers are prone to doing, and noted that it might be time for us to have more of a presence on the web, maybe do some YouTubes. Well, in April of this year, we leapt into Zoom like a lot of other organizations. And so here we are introducing ourselves to YouTube today. I'm here with other members of our steering circle, Tom Withy, our tech master, Derek Kinsolving, the keeper of the used books. I think you can see a lot of those behind him. Frank Cole, our treasurer, and one of our most illustrious members and founding member as well, Susie Cox, longtime astrologer for Canyon Ranch here in Tucson, instructor for Kepler College, and director of many of the astrodramas we've performed in the past. Susie, would you like to start off our discussion today? Why do we do astrology?
I would love to, Gail. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. I'm Susie Cox. I'm a professional astrologer, and I'm going to be speaking through my clients. So why do they use astrology? Well, the first thing that they do, is to have their birth chart done. So your birth chart defines your purpose in life, and it shows your talents and your challenges and the overall reason why you're here on Earth. And then, of course, you can do the transits, and the transits are where the planets are right now. And so you can see not only what's going to happen, but when. And of course, that's really handy to know. And then people often go to comparisons. So they take a look at their boyfriend's chart or girlfriend's or their husband or their children's charts and business partners maybe. So how compatibility, how are they compatible with other people astrologically? And of course, that's a very handy thing to do. And then there's astrocartography. So astrocartography, which is one of my favorites, astrocartography is a map of the world, and it shows where your power spots are around the world. So when I was being born in Tucson, where was the sun rising in the world? Where was the moon rising in the world? So you're on your sun line or on your moon line. So it opens up the world to you, and it shows kind of your power spots around the world. And then, what is astrology about? It's empowering and uplifting, and it's very comforting. It's very soothing. So it's nice to know not only who you are, but kind of what's happening in the world. And so that's why my clients come to me, and I'm obsessed with astrology. I love it. It's a way that we can connect with the universe and through our astrology charts. Okay, I'm feeling complete. So Tom, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Susie. Yes, there's many reasons I use astrology. I study astrology for the deep psychological insights that it gives into myself and to those who surround me. It gives me insights into humanity and also historical events. In the last 50 years, because of computers and because of the increase of the number of professional astrologers and researchers in the world, the amount of information that's become available has really deepened and increased what we can do with astrology. Also, the discovery of new exoplanets, not exoplanets, but planets beyond Uranus and Pluto. That's also given us more information to use. And, for that reason, I can do more with the astrology. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, used astrology for all of his patients at the latter half of his lives because of the information he could get about his patients and the insights there. Astrology for me gives me a tool that science, that philosophy and religion don't necessarily provide. So astrology is an excellent supplement to what I can gain in wisdom from those specific disciplines. There is another reason I use astrology, and that is I'm interested in the financial markets. And one thing I discovered when I was researching financial astrology is that one of the richest men in the world was J.P. Morgan. And he had a famous saying, which was, millionaires do not use astrology, billionaires use it. And he had a professional astrology working for him all the time. Her name was Evangeline Adams. She was a very well-known astrologer. And she was so good at finance and using astrology for finance that in a book I have, which is called 100 Minds That Made the Markets, meaning the Wall Street markets, financial markets, she is one of only 2 women of the 100 top people mentioned in that book. And she was an astrologer. So that's saying a lot. And although astrology only provides a portion of how to successfully predict financial markets, in some cases it does it perfectly. Like when Neptune goes into fire signs, you can take it to the bank that there's going to be high inflation or hyperinflation. So for that reason, I do find it helpful in making money for myself and others. I don't do it professionally. I just do it because it's a curiosity. The one thing I love about the Tucson Astrologers Guild is that every month we have well-known authors like Susie and presenters, professional astrologers from everywhere in the country, including the world as well. And we also have amongst our ranks quite a number of engineers, IT guys and gals, and science teachers. And I happen to be an engineer, and so is my colleague Frank. And so I would like to turn this over to our aerospace engineer, Frank, to continue this presentation. Thanks, Frank.
Well, thank you, Tom. I think the mentioning of astrology with engineering and science is actually a good point, because it sort of helps illustrate why I would answer the question, why do I do astrology? I have to agree very much with everything that Susie and Tom have already said, and just sort of rephrase it a little bit from my perspective. Astrology is definitely a tool for personal matters, for understanding the exterior world, for financial matters, for dealing with relationships, all those things, as Susie briefly explained. I think of it as the difference between a map of geography and a weather report on television when we talk about the difference between a natal chart and transits, or the other methods that we have in astrology of looking at how things change, like secondary progressions and solar arcs and stuff like that. A birth chart is fixed in a point of time and space. So in a sense, it's like opening a geography textbook and you see a map of, you know, Brazil or the United States or whatever. The mountains, the rivers, everything is very fixed. It can still change as time goes on. You know, we can put dams on rivers, we can build roads, we can cut down forests and build houses with the wood and all that. But basically the map shows what was there fixed at a particular point of time. And that's kind of the way I look at the birth chart. It gives a huge amount of information, but it kind of describes the foundation, if we want to think of it in terms of a philosophy or maybe a building structure, something like that. But we're not fixed in time at the moment we're born. Excuse me. Life changes, everything. We grow up, we have relatives die, we get married, we go to college, you know, we have children, all that. So using the methods of astrology and looking at how things change throughout the life is another really powerful tool. Like I said, the transits and the secondary progressions and things like that. So that's more like a weather report. Every day you turn on the television on your local channel and you see Joe Weatherman there, you know, in his three-piece suit, and he's got a background of a map of Arizona or the United States or whatever. And it shows, you know, all these swirls and lines with low pressure, high pressure, rain, clouds, all that sort of stuff. But the background, the map, stays the same, but things change. The earth rotates, night and day come and go. Temperatures change, hotter in the day, colder at night. Air masses flow through. Sometimes you get rain, sometimes it dries out, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same thing with a person, a human being, is you have the map of the birth chart, and then you have the transits that's like the weather, all the things that are changing. So Susie was talking about how astrology is empowering and uplifting. And I really like that phrase because it ties in with one of my favorite phrases, knowledge is power. So astrology gives us a lot more knowledge. So it's empowering in the sense that it gives us power in the sense of ability to do things, to understand, to react, to not react, to change the way we're living our life, because we see what's going on, not on the weather map on your, you know, Channel 6 news, but on the transits and progressions on your birth chart. And to me, that's very emotionally, what should I say, fulfilling or uplifting or satisfying way, because I know that I have a certain amount of power that I can understand what's going on. So I can only second Susie's comment about astrology as empowering and uplifting. So anyway, that's my take on how I would explain why I do astrology, and everybody has their own. So I would like to turn it over to Derek, who can give us his version. So take it away, Derek.
Oh, thank you, Frank. Well, I have to say I use astrology because I believe that in this sense, science is currently concerned about the relationship between mass and energy. But I think that astrology is the relationship between mass energy and mind. Astrology, I believe, is the master typology in that it subsumes all other psychological classifications and descriptions, such as those of Freud, Jung, and Maslow. Astrology provides the lawful equations that relates past and future psychological time to each person through progressions and transits. And while I can't say what astrology is, it can be examined scientifically. It can be used as an oracle. I like to say that while oracular methods such as the I Ching, tarot, and runes reflect how the winds of fate are blowing, astrology is those winds of fate. And I guess that's my statement. And I'll pass it back to Gail.
Oh, thank you, Derek. Thank you, everyone. That was all great. I enjoyed your discussion. I'm really enjoying this discussion. Now, why do I do astrology? I've been practicing astrology for over 40 years, professionally for most of that time. I've been certified as a shamanic astrologer with the Shamanic Astrology Mystery School under Daniel Jamario since 1999. First astrology book I read was The Astrology of Personality by Dane Rudyard. It practically leapt off the shelf and into my hands in 1969, and I was sold. Through astrology, I've gained understanding of the world around me, of myself, and of others. It has allowed me to become more authentic, true to me, true to myself. It allows me to see the meaning that lies hidden in all these patterns all around us. We're all unique people. Every being, creature is a unique creature, but yet we all have similarities. Those things that bring us together or push us apart. What does it all tell us about ourselves? Well, astrology makes all this clearer. Mostly I've learned through the experience of astrology, watching the planets in action, how they touch off each other through the phenomenon of aspects, or touch off the planets in my natal chart, or that of others. I learned right away that when planets cross others in a natal chart, something happens. When there are two or more planets aspecting each other in the sky, something happens on this planet. The explosion in Beirut this last week was a prime example of Mars and Jupiter in an exact challenging aspect to each other. An explosion. In shamanic astrology, we get out under the night sky so we can truly understand how this solar system works in relationship to the earth. Truly, as above, so below. We are all part of this bigger picture. As within, so without. Doing this work has given me a kinesthetic experience, in the body experience. I honor the celestial timings, the equinoxes, the solstices, the eclipses, the cycles of the moon. I am blessed to live where I can be with all this beauty all the time in this desert south of Tucson, Arizona. So, again, thank you to all my colleagues here on this YouTube today. That's our brief take on the question of why we do astrology. Visit our website, TucsonAstrologersGuild.org or .net to find out more about us. Like us on Facebook. Contact us from our website to get a list of used books that we have in stock. Derek will be glad to provide you with a PDF. Look for us on more YouTubes. Keep looking up. Keep asking questions and talk to your local astrologer. Thank you for joining us today. Bye.